Yeah, hello guys, good evening all. Welcome back to the session. So for the online, hope my voice is clear for all of you. Can you please confirm in the chat box whether I'm audible or not? Okay. So we can start session now. So first of all, let me go ahead and create an EC2 instance. So then we can go ahead with the session. So in today's session, I'm gonna show you the argocd part, which is nothing but the project which you're gonna put on the resume. Okay. Okay. So here I do have my corpse cluster running. So let me explain the concept for you. So in today's session, I'm going to teach you the concept of argocd. Which one? So first of all, like what is argocd? So in recent days, like everyone is asking the argocd in the exam point, sorry, the interview point of view. So you know Jenkins, right? Basically, why we need to use Jenkins? To do the continuous integration, correct? So after that, we do continuous delivery and deployment also. But instead of using Jenkins for continuous delivery and deployment, for microservice, we use argocd. What we can use? So let me explain this for you in the easiest way. Argocd. If you go and check here, in the starting of the Jenkins, I said, alternative for Jenkins is we are having argocd also. Have you seen this one? Starting of Jenkins. Now that is what I'm going to explain. Okay. So basically, argocd is a declarative continuous delivery tool for Kubernetes, sir. Which tool it is? Continuous delivery. But here you need to understand one thing. If I type what is argocd in Kubernetes, see what it will tell. It's a continuous delivery tool. That means here you can do the delivery for the application actually. Okay. So how exactly we use Jenkins for continuous delivery? Here we use the argocd. So it is the core component of Argo project. It helps you to automate the deployment and managing the application for the Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So basically here we follow the GitOps methodology. Which methodology we going to follow? GitOps. Let me explain the architecture. From the architecture, the concepts are going to be very easy. So generally, let's take, it is my Kubernetes cluster. Okay. It is my Kubernetes. In the cluster, I do have like master node, and I do have here worker nodes also. So that is my master, and these two will be my worker. Let me connect them like this. Okay. So generally, if I want to deploy application, I use manifest file, correct or not, sir? And after that, what I will do? kubectl create -f manifest file. But here, what I'll be doing, in real time, I have multiple developers. Like I'm telling the real time architecture for you. So listen, developer 1, developer 2, developer 3. What these people will do, sir? What these people will do? They'll push the code to the GitHub. Already know this process, right? So these people will do the code push into the GitHub. So once these people push the code to the GitHub, what we do? Generally, we will be taking the code and we'll be creating the image. Already you know, right? Already you know. So once code is there, that code I am going to build the image. What I'll do? After building the image, what I'll do? I'll tag it, and later then I'm gonna push to the Docker Hub. Correct or not, sir? From the Docker Hub, I take the image and I'll deploy to the Kubernetes cluster. But here what happened, as a DevOps engineer, here instead of developers, DevOps people will write the code actually. Who will write the code? Which code that is? That is the manifest code actually. Let me explain in this way. See, I'm a DevOps engineer. For example, it is me. I'm a DevOps engineer here. So what I'll do, I'll write the manifest file, sir. What I'll be writing here? That manifest file I'm going to put on the GitHub. So it is my manifest file. What does manifest file consist of? Kubernetes code to deploy, correct or not? Okay. So this I'm going to put on the GitHub. So generally what happened, directly from the GitHub, the application code will be deployed to the Kubernetes cluster. That's it. Very straightforward. So the best part about this argocd, we don't have any other rest of the tools. As a DevOps engineer, I'll put the manifest file in the GitHub. From the GitHub, application will be directly deployed to the Kubernetes cluster. So automatically what happened, whenever if I do any change, okay, whenever if I do any change to my manifest, automatically it will go and replicate here. For example, I put 2 replicas. 2 replicas will create. If I put 10 replicas here in the GitHub, automatically 10 will come here. Or if I put 20 replicas, automatically I'll get the 20 replicas. That means whatever you are going to change, whatever you are going to change, that change will be replicated to the Kubernetes cluster. Where you change that, I'm going to change everything on the GitHub. But ultimately, after changing the code in the GitHub, the application will be changing on the cluster also. This is the architecture, what exactly you're going to do. Okay. So it uses the GitOps methodology. What is the meaning of GitOps? Git plus operation. That means from the Git only you are going to do everything. From the Git, you are going to build the application, test the application, deploy the application. That is called as GitOps. Which one? GitOps. So here we use GitOps methodology to manage the application lifecycle and provide a simple user interface. That means for deployment, you are going to use the user interface here. What we're going to use? And even we can monitor the application state. We can do rollout, we can do rollback, everything we can do. With argocd, you can define the desired state of your Kubernetes cluster. Desired state means how exactly you want your Kubernetes cluster. We can mention that in the manifest file, and the manifest file will take care of the deployment. And this is going to put on the repository. Argocd will continuously monitor the Git repository for changes and automatically apply them to the cluster. That means argocd will continuously check if there is any change in the like in the GitHub. If it find any change on the GitHub, automatically that will be replicated to Kubernetes cluster. If it doesn't find any change, it won't replicate actually. And after that, argocd also provide advanced feature like application health monitoring, automatic drift detection. What is the meaning of drift? Change actually. What is the meaning of drift? Change. And support for multiple environments such as production, staging, and development. That means with the single argocd, you can be able to deploy the application on developing environment, testing environment, production environment. Any environment you can go and deploy. And it is a popular tool among DevOps who want to streamline their Kubernetes application deployment to ensure consistency, reliability in their infrastructure. So this is the intro of argocd. Simply one thing I can tell argocd is, only 2 points. Argocd is a continuous delivery tool to deploy the application on the Kubernetes. We put the code on the GitHub, and that GitHub I'm going to connect to the cluster. If I do any change on the GitHub, automatically it will replicate to the. This is the only point you need to remember. Fine. Later then, here first of all, if you want to work with argocd, you are going to create the Kubernetes cluster. What are you going to create? Do you have my Kubernetes cluster ready with me? Yes. So if you go and check, my validation is done now, but let me export the state. Is it ready now? So here my KOps is ready. So now what I'll be doing, after my KOps is ready, here I'm going to install Helm actually. I think all of you know how to install Helm, right? So I'm installing Helm. Why I'm installing Helm means to install argocd, I need to install Helm first, okay? Is my Helm ready now? Helm is installed, okay? Once my Helm is installed, from the Helm, what I'm installing here? So first of all, add the repo, next update the repo, create the namespace, install. Same process. In Prometheus also, first of all, we added the repo, we update them, we create the namespace, we install. Same command here without any changes, okay? I'm going to run all the commands as it is now. Done now? So if you run this script actually, and this script already I have given to the this one where it is argocd. Argocd script is not there. Let me write the script for argocd. So basically, if you run all the command, there will be a script of argocd. Here, now you already install the argocd. Now you want to expose the argocd server. Expose means I am going to use a service here. With the help of kubectl, I am patching the service called argocd server in the namespace of argocd So specification, which kind of specification I'm using here? That means I'm exposing the argocd server to the load balancer. Copy, paste. That's it. And after if you do, you need to install the command called JQ. Which command? And if you don't know what is JQ, type here man JQ. Man stand for manual. Okay. JQ is nothing but it's a command line JSON processor. Which one? Why you are going to use means JQ can transform JSON into various output format by selecting, iterating, and reducing, and otherwise mangling JSON document. Simply what I want to tell you is JQ main purpose is to transform the JSON into lot of filtering, iteration, reduction. Okay. So I'll give Q here to quit. And after that here, I am going to get the pod actually by running this command. So basically what I'm doing is I am creating a shortcut for the full command. For example, whenever if you want to get the host name for the load host name of your what we call this one argocd, I need to run this much of command kubectl get service argocd. This is the command that is going to get me the service actually. So this command is very lengthy. So in order to make it very easy, I'm using export command. That means instead of running this much big command, if I run argo server, my output will come actually. So if I run echo $argocd, $argocd, I'll be getting the full command now. Are you seeing it now? That means I'm creating a shortcut. Instead of running this much command to get my service, I created the argocd as shortcut by using export command. Which command? Then finally, if you go and see this one, you are going to get the password. Okay. So again, instead of running this much command to get the argocd password, I am going to use shortcut called argo pwd by using export command. Let me run that. And again, if I use echo dollar argo pwd, that entire command will be printing. The reason why I'm using, it is very difficult to me to run the entire commands. That is the reason I'm creating shortcuts for my better understanding. And after run the last command, you'll be getting a password. So directly you can go and you can log into the argocd cluster. Are you getting the password now? This is the password. Now, from this password directly you can go and you can log into the argocd server. Now here, before I go and log into the argocd server, previously you have a service actually. What you are having? Service. So let me go for load balancer service here. kubectl get svc -a for all. Are you seeing the load balancer service here? Okay, so copy this load balancer service and paste on the browser. Now directly you can be able to connect to the argocd server. But before that, here make sure you need to go for advanced, accept risk and continue. Then only your argocd will come. Okay. So username will be by default admin. Okay. And password here already you generated a password. Where is this one? Yeah, here. Are you seeing the password here? That password you need to copy and paste it here. Click on sign in. That's it, sir. Now your argocd is done. So what is the best part about argocd? You can do this in 5 minutes only. This project will take only how many minutes? Why 5 minutes? Means already you know how to create the cluster. Okay. Already, wait. If I go to the diagram, let me show you why it will take very short time. Sir, already you know how to create cluster. I can create cluster within 5 minutes. This I am showing from the starting of the session. But if you do this on QBDM, it will take 30 minutes to create cluster. So we are saving how many minutes here? 25 minutes, first one. Second one, already you know how to create the image. I already shown in a lot of sessions, right? We already seen this on the Docker project. So generally, if I want to create image from the scratch, taking the code, building it, tagging it, pushing it, everything from the pipeline will take again 15 minutes. But already we done this one. Again, there 25 minutes, here 15 minutes. How much of time we are saving now? almost we are saving 40 minutes or not, sir? That is the reason why it will take very less time. Okay. Here already you have the ready-made cluster. And second one, the only thing you need to have is here GitHub account. Do you have GitHub account? Yes. So here in my GitHub account, if you go and see here already, let me log in first of all. So if I go here I can go and I can see the Argo project. In your repositories, argocd. Or is in the argocd here? So here I have the deployment.yml. This is the only code I want. I don't want any other code. If you go and check, this is normally train service code. Which code? Train service code. Of course, labels and everything I have given different labels. Let me change it out. Control F. Find a wiki and replace with train. Now see this one. It is a normal deployment code which you already know. There is nothing special here. It is a normal deployment code with 6 replicas with a train service. Okay. And here coming to the API version v1 service, I am going to take load balancer and port number I have given 80. That's it. There is nothing special, sir. Just a normal manifest file. Now what I'll be doing, in this repository I have the code, and this code now I'm going to connect to the argocd project. This code I'm going to connect to the argocd project will be connecting both in between the Kubernetes cluster and GitHub. Okay, it is the argocd dashboard actually. Here I'm going to connect the GitHub and I'm going to deploy on the. So it is my argocd here. Argocd. Now see how I'm going to do it. First of all, go to your repository. Repository, not. Go to your argocd. Click on create new app. My application name is going to be Paytm. Which one? Project name I'm going to take default. Sync policy manual and automatic. First of all, I'll go with manual. Later, I'll take automatic. Coming to repository URL. Please go and give your GitHub repository URL. So revision, like I'm going to give head actually. Path. Dot slash. That means take my files from current folder. Okay. And after that cluster URL, it is a default cluster URL. Namespace. I'm going to take the namespace as default. Okay. That's it. I'm telling that my application name is Paytm. Project name is sync policy manual. That means whenever I do changes manually, then only apply the changes. Okay. After that, from which repository you are getting the code? I'm getting the code from this repository. And the branch, I'm going to take it as a default branch there. And the path means from which path you are taking the code. I'm taking from the current path. Okay. And finally, it is the cluster URL that will come automatically. And namespace, in which namespace you want to deploy the application? Default namespace. After giving all of them, click on create. Oh, wait. Here we need to give the name of the application on lowercase. I have given uppercase. Paytm. Now it will go and create. The only thing is you should not give the name in the caps. Need to give it on small. If you go and see, it is my application. If I go and click on this application, the only thing I want to do is now clicking on sync. What I need to click on? But before I go and click on sync, currently I'm on default namespace. Kubectl get PO. How many ports do I have? Nothing, right? But in the manifest file, how many ports do I specified here? Replicas, how many ports? 6, correct or not, sir? If I click on sync, automatically this manifest file will be applied now. Click on sync here. Synchronize. Now you can see how many ports are creating? 6 ports. And how many services running here? So name of the service will be ABC service, right? You can clearly see it from my Paytm application. I am deploying 2 things. One, I'm deploying. Second one, I'm deploying the service. And this service will have the endpoint here. If you go and see, I'm having 6 running pods. If I go back to my cluster, kubectl get PO. Am I getting 6 pods now? And I'll get the service also. Kubectl get SVC. Are you getting service now? Load balancer coming or not? So this is how the architecture will work. Okay. DevOps engineer will write the manifest file. In that manifest file, they put the complete configuration of the application. And after putting the manifest file from the argocd, they are going to give the configuration, name of the application, everything. Once if they click on sync, automatically the application will be deployed to the Kubernetes cluster. Correct or not, sir? Yes. So now even though if you want me to show the output, I'll go back to the EC2 instances. First of all, you need to replace the security groups. Why? Because security groups will come with the default here. Let me edit the bounds here. So here I have gone and seen this one. So if I go for details, if I click on the public IP address now, so what is the port number there? 80. Here we are using load balancer. Load balancer will not have the port number, sir. Load balancer will have the DNS. Correct? So make sure you are using the DNS. If I go here, this is my DNS actually. I'll be copying this DNS. I'll copy and I'm gonna paste it here. Now automatically my application will come. Are you getting my application? It is Paytm login page. Are you getting the login page here? Like this. So in this way, I can be able to deploy my application very, very easily. In the same way, sir, in the same way, now I want to make this replica 6 to 10. How many replicas I want here? Put 10. And like here, I'm gonna save this one. After saving this one, I want to sync it or not, sir? Currently, you are having how many? 6, but I want to 10. So click on again sync. So click on synchronize. Automatically now I'll be getting 10 ports here. If you go and see, are you getting the new ports now? Just now created. You go and see. And even in the console also, kubectl get PO. Are you seeing 10 ports or not, sir? Sir, how easy the work is? You change the things on only GitHub. Automatically that is replicating or not. So the best thing about the Kubernetes is deployment will be very, very easy when you start using the argocd. Okay. And here you can go for the history and rollback also. For example, let's say, if I click on this one, okay. Currently, how many ports I'm having? 10. So if I click on history and rollback, if you go and see, my first deployment done at which time, sir? 447. First deployment done at 447. Second deployment done at 450. Okay. So you can see in the click of this one, are you seeing redeploy? The best part about is you can do the rollback also. What you can do? What is the meaning of rollback? Coming back to the previous version of application. Correct or not, sir? So let's say currently which application is running here? Train service. Correct? I want a movie service now. Which one? So what I'll be doing, so like let's take the application what we deployed. So it is my application. I'll be going to the new version now. That is the old version of application. So I'll take new version. Siraj 321 Paytm Train latest. So now what I'm doing, it is my old application with version 1.0. Now I want to deploy it on 2.0. So I have given the latest image here. What I have given? Now I changed the things on the GitHub. Now if I want to make it deploy, I need to go and click on sync. Where I need to click on sync? In the argocd page. Go to the argocd. So here I need to click on sync and again click on. Now automatically what happened, I'll be creating the new pods now. Why? Because I'm updating the application, right? So now my old pods will be terminating, new pods will be creating. You can see it lively. How many pods are pending here? 10 pods are pending. You can see it lively here. If I go for details, here you can see them very, very clearly. If I go for events, in the events, are you seeing them or not, sir? Successfully deleted. How many seconds ago? 13 seconds ago. One pod got deleted. 14 seconds ago, other pod. 15 seconds ago, other pod. You can see everything lively here. Okay, even go for logs also if you have any. Now if I go and see, my new pods got running or not, sir? My new pods running or not? Now if I go and see, KubeCut will get PO. I'll get the new pods which created on 48 seconds, 42 seconds ago. Now give the command KubeCut will get SVC. So this is my DNS. If I copy this one, this is my old application, right? If I click on refresh, automatically new application is coming or not, sir? That means I came from version 1 to how easily I have done it by changing the image name, correct? Sir, again, let's say this application is not working fine. Version 2 is having some bugs. Now again, I need to go back to, that means you're gonna do rollback. You know how easy is rollbacking here? Simply go to the console. Simply go to the console, click on history and rollback. It is the latest version, right? You want to deploy the previous version. Click on these three dots, click on rollback. That's it. Automatically you can do rollback now. Again, see. Old parts are removing, new parts are creating or not, sir? It's creating. Now again, I can go back and I can click on refresh. Again, old application is coming or not, sir? Now you tell me, with the help of argocd, our work is very, very easy or not, sir? That is the power of argocd. And tell me how easy is the project? Very easy. We have done within only 5 minutes. Lot of people think, sir, project mean it will take 2 to 3 hours, right? Who said that one for you? Don't think if you do project for 2 to 3 hours, then that is called as project. Don't think like that, sir. It's not like that. You tell me, basically, if you go and ask any person, if you want to deploy the end-to-end Kubernetes cluster, it will take 30 minutes for everyone. But how many minutes we are creating it on? 5 minutes. To create the image, already you know how to create the image. No need to see it one more time. Image creation will take 20 minutes. 30 plus 20? 50 minutes. There only 1 hour is done. Correct or not, sir? This already we done previously. Now what you doing? Just installing argocd and playing with it. Correct or not? That's it. And again, if you want to monitor the application, here what you are going to install, sir? You are going to install the Prometheus Grafana. Already you know how to install Prometheus Grafana. Correct or not? So if you want me to show it one more time, tell me how to install Prometheus Grafana. Already we seen how to install Prometheus Grafana from the Helm. Correct or not? But what is the best part, you know? What is the best part? Instead of installing Prometheus Grafana, you can directly monitor your application from here only. We have the dashboard also for monitoring. Let me show the dashboard and then I can show you Prometheus Grafana. Where it is? Wait. And one more thing I want to tell for you is, sir, previously if you change anything on the GitHub, let me take new replicas 10 to 11. For example, I want to make it is 20. How many I want to make it as? 20. So now after changing this one, I need to go and click on sync manually or not, sir? But this time I don't want to make the sync manually. I want to make sync automatically. It is possible. So how it is possible, you know, if you go back to the application, in the application, you can go into the top. Here are you seeing sync policy here? Auto sync is not enabled. So now my requirement is I want to make it automatic sync. How do you make it automatic sync means? Let me tell you. So it is a refresh button actually. You can go and click on refresh. This is the details of the application. Okay. Here if you can go and see sync policy. Are you seeing enable auto sync policy? Click on enable auto sync policy. Now, what is the meaning of enable auto sync policy? You know, the moment if you enable auto sync policy, if I do any change, I do not go and click on sync manually. Automatically syncing will apply now. Just click on refresh. Automatically 10 new pods are creating or not, sir? How I have done? Have I done sync manually or automatically? Automatically. Now again, let's see. Instead of 20, now I want only 15. How many I want? 15. Now click on commit changes. The moment if I commit, automatically changes will come here. See, currently how many pods I'm having? Let me click on refresh. Why? Because you want to see it, right? Let me click on refresh. Automatically syncing is done or not, sir? That is the power of argocd. If you enable auto sync, if you change the code on GitHub, automatically Kubernetes cluster will go and apply. Is it a cool feature or not, sir? Yes. So this is the way how you can enable the auto sync. And here you can see something called as diff actually. What you can see? Diff stand for differences. Diff stand for different. That means for previous application and current application, what is the difference you can see. Okay. So now let me show you some other options in the Argo CD here. If I click on these three dots, this is the worker node one. It is the worker node. In worker node one, how many pods are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And worker node 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total how many pods? 15 pods. Now if I place on this particular pod, okay, you can see the name of the pod here. You can see the health status. You can see the containers and you can see the at what time it got created. Now I want to monitor pod number, some ABC. If I simply go and place my cursor, automatically I can see the monitoring of the pod or not, sir. This is the power of Argo CD. And again, you can see for my worker node 1, how much of CPU is consumed here. Total, I have taken 2 CPUs. Out of 2 CPUs, how much of a CPU is consumed? 0.7. You can see it, right? 700 M. That means 0.7. Again, like 1.5 CPU is available. And coming to the memory, total, I have taken 3.82 GB. How much I have taken? But how much of memory is consumed till now? 0. Why? Because I'm not exposing to all the people. I'm just exposing to myself here. Similarly, in the worker node 2, 800 CPU is consumed. Still, we are having how much of CPU, sir? 1.2 itself. And here, completely, my 70 MB is consumed and 3.8 GB is pending. Sir, can we able to monitor the nodes or not, sir? We can monitor, right? From here itself. Like that. So, this is the general overview of the Argo CD deployment. And it is the monitoring of your nodes actually. Okay. And again, here if you can go and see network part, you can see from the cloud, I have a load balancer. And this load balancer is attaching to how many pods here? These are the 15 pods. That means for these 15 pods, my load balancer is attached. In the cloud, I create a load balancer. That load balancer is connected to the 15 number of pods. And the last section is going to be the event section. That means currently it is the pod number 1. If you want to check the details of individual pod, click on this pod. You can go. This is the name of the pod. Namespace, it is running on which namespace? It created on how many seconds ago? 4 minutes. So image I'm using Siraj 321 account, Paytm Train, and state is on running. What is the name of the container? Is it on heli status or not, sir? And the better part is you can generate the live manifest for the pod also. Generally, if you create a pod, we don't get manifest for the pod. But here, if you create a pod, are you getting the live manifest or not, sir? If you want to write this manifest file, how much time it will take? Very lot of time. But Argo CD will automatically generate the manifest file for each and every pod. And you can check the events of the pod. Events of the pod means what happened at 4:57. The pod got successfully assigned and it created the container. Okay. And after that, successfully the image got pulled. And before that, the image is pulling from Siraj account. That means we need to read from top to bottom. First of all, we pull the image. We pulled the image successfully. We created the container. We started the container. And we have assigned the so-and-so container to so-and-so node itself. So now if you are having the logs, these logs also you can check from the Argo CD. So these 4 will be very, very important to understand. First one will show the overview of the deployment. Second one will show the monitoring party for your application. Third one, application or nodes here. Third one will show the services. And fourth one will go with the overview of the complete pods in your application. Like that. So again, if you want to create one more application also, click on new application. This time you can create some other application also. So like this, you can create n number of applications from the Argo CD. But the best part is write the manifest file, create the cluster. That's it. Automatically, your Argo CD will take care of the deployment. Is the concept of Argo CD clear for all of you know? Online. Can you please confirm is the concept of Argo CD clear or not? Okay. And some other things I want to show you for argocd is you can see your application on normal view, you can see on stacked view, and you can see on pie chart view also. There are different views to show the application. It is a normal view. Okay. It is the list view. It is the pie chart view. So in this way also you can be able to see the list of application from the argocd point of view. Okay. And coming back to this one again. So sync status. Currently the status is synced actually, and you can see like what are the results we got after syncing the application. Okay. So you can see, and here you can go and see this particular sync is automatically enabled. You can see the details also, how it got enabled. Is it enabled normally, manually, or is it enabled automatically? And have you seen how much time it taken to execution? 0.01 minute. That means within 1 second only our application got deployed. How speed the deployment process here? Very fast or not, sir? That is the reason why everyone should need to learn the concept of argocd. That's it. And again, finally, if you want to delete the application, click on delete. But before deleting, again, if I want to roll back, can you tell me the process of rollback here? Tell me how to roll back. History and roll back. First of all, select the version. I want to roll back to this version. Select this one. Click on roll back. Okay. So now automatically application will be roll back here. You can see. So it roll back within again 1 second only. It won't take much time. Okay. So like this, in this way, you can go and you can do the rollback also. So if you want to make any custom settings, you can go for the settings and you can add your own setting. The best part is here you can change the themes also. Currently, which theme is available enable here? Light theme. So if I click on dark theme enable, so automatically my theme will be on dark color. So custom is possible. Like how we enable the custom settings for the Jenkins, in the same way we can enable custom settings for the argocd. That's it. So now, before I go for the next concept, is the argocd clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm, is the concept of argocd clear for all of you or not? Yes, Vikram. So basically, our pods will not be going to schedule on master node. Master node will not schedule any pods. Okay, only worker nodes will do it in the Kubernetes. Fine. So the next thing I want to cover for you is scheduling. Basically, scheduling is not a part of your syllabus, but I'm going to cover for you. So the best part about the Kubernetes, you can decide your pod need to be placed on which node actually. So if I use the command kubectl will get node. How many worker nodes do I have? 2, right? So if I use the command kubectl get po -o wide. Okay. Sir, you can see some pods are scheduling on worker node 1. Worker node 1 is ending with 64 and worker node 2 is ending with FE. So in real time, what happened, if you want to schedule the pod on only one worker node, you can do it. You can ignore the complete worker node too. That is also possible. Sir, how it is possible means by giving the labels to the pods. By giving the, so let me go ahead and show you the scheduling. Let me open my document here. Give me 1 second, guys. Wait. Give me a second. Let me go and fetch this one. So here see how to schedule a particular node on the particular pod actually. Okay. So before you go in this one, you need to understand something called as node affinity. Which one? The purpose of the node affinity is to ensure that particular pods are hosting on particular. That means, for example, let's say here how many pods I'm having? 15 pods. How many worker nodes I have? 2 worker nodes. I don't want to use 2 worker nodes. I want to schedule all the pods in only one worker node. So I can do it with the help of node affinity. Which one? Node affinity. It provides us with the advanced capability of limiting the pod placement on a specific node. For example, let's say we have different kind of workloads running on the cluster and we would like to dedicate the data processing workload for higher horsepower. That means, see, it is my worker node 1, it is my worker node 2. Sir, I want to make worker node 2 OS update. For example, in worker node 1, I have 2 pods, and in worker node 2, I have the 2 pods. Sorry. Whenever you want to update the operating system of your worker node 2, you want to remove the pods from worker node 2 and you want to send it to the worker node. Sorry. 1. Correct or not, sir? So in that case, how you can move the pods from one node to another node? And how it can be done is with the help of node affinity. So let me go and show this one. For example, before you go and see this one, I want to give something called as label actually. What I want to give? Label. If I give the command kubectl label nodes, what I want to give? Kubectl label nodes. And but before that, here first of all, let me remove all the pods by deleting the application. So if you click on go and delete, so click on OK. So type here Paytm. So now my application will be deleted here. So it is on processing. If you go and see, it is deleting actually. Let me click on refresh. So in the background, if I go and check out my pods, currently the pods is on which state now? Terminating. Why? Because I want to show it separately for your clarity. Okay. So if I go in here, first of all, I'm going to give the label for my node actually. Okay. So label, you can give any label. Size is equal to medium is the label I'm taking. Now, or you can take size equal to ABC or color is equal to red. Any label is completely up to your choice. Take one label. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to take size is equal to medium and I'm giving it for my node number 1. So kubectl label nodes. And you need to give the node ID, sir. What I need to give? Node ID. For example, let's say I have 2 worker nodes here. How many worker nodes? This worker node ID is ending with 64. So I'm going to select this one. I'm going to give size is equal to medium. So is the node label applied or not, sir? After applying the node label, now you can give the command kubectl describe node. So give the command kubectl describe node and give the node ID. The moment if I go and check this one, if you go and see, is the node getting the complete information or not, sir? For this node, you can go and check. This is the node. Okay, this is the label actually. Label have a given size is equal to medium now. Yes. So you can check the CPU information, you can check the memory information, you can check the IP address, you can check the host name, DNS, everything you can check. After giving the label now, what I'm going to do, you know, here I'm going to run the below manifest file. What I'm going to run here? Below manifest. I'll explain this manifest file for you. It is generally a pod manifest file. Copy this one. VIM pod not YML. Of course, this manifest file seems to be very, very large, but I'll explain it very easily. So if I go and see API version kind metadata, you know, session I'm using affinity. What I'm using? And in the affinity, I'm using node affinity. Node affinity means to place the particular pod on particular node only. Okay. And here in the node affinity, you have 2 options: required during scheduling, ignore during execution. That means the name itself is indicating it is required during scheduling. That means while scheduling, it is required. But during execution, it can be ignored. Read this one for me. Required during scheduling means while scheduling, it is required or not, sir? And second, ignored during That means while execution, it is not required. You can ignore this one. So in the node selector, I'm using the key value called size here. What is the key here? Size. And what is the value here? Medium. That means if you found a key with size and value with medium, then only place the pod here, or otherwise don't place the pod. That's it. And the second one is here. Prefer during scheduling, ignore during execution. That means here, while scheduling the pod, you definitely need to prefer. But during execution, you can ignore. Here you have two things, required and preferred. Required means mandatory. Preferred means not mandatory. So understand the difference. Required means it is very, very mandatory. Preferred means it is not mandatory. That means here you are going to select required or preferred now. Required. So in required, if a node is having the key with size and value with medium, then only place the pod. So like that, I am giving this one. So if I go and give the command kubectl create -f pod.yml. So give the command kubectl get PO. And if I want to get the node information, put -o void. You can go and see currently this pod is running on which node, sir? Is it running on our current node or not? 6.4. Why it is running on our current node? Because I have labeled the pod that this pod need to place on this node only, or otherwise don't place it. So this is the how exactly you are going to place a particular pod on particular node. So this we can do with the help of which one? Node affinity. Which one? Node affinity. Node affinity will be having the equation to place the particular pod on particular node. And here you need to understand the operators. We have the operators called in, not in, exist, doesn't exist, less than, greater than, etc. These are the operators. But currently I'm using which operator here? In operator. Which operator? In. Like that. So there you can use not in also. What I can use? I'll explain what is the meaning of not in, but let me delete this one. kubectl delete -f pod.yml. Sorry, if I place not in, what will happen? It is going to perform alternatively. Okay, let me explain this very clearly. VM pod.yml. Instead of in the operator section, what I'm going to place? Not in. So now how it will work? Tell me how many nodes do I have? Two worker nodes. First worker node, second worker node. For the first worker node, I have given the label size is equal to medium. Correct or not, sir? But for the second node, do I have given size is equal to medium? No. So the moment if I give in, it will go and execute on the first node. But here what I'm giving? Not in means if the node is having size is equal to medium label, then go and schedule the pod on that node. That means quite opposite. Is my logic clear? If I put in here, which node is having size is equal to medium, that pod will place on that node. But if I put not in, that is going to place the pod on the node which is having size, which is not having size is equal to medium. Now let me go and execute this one for your clarity. So what I'll be doing here? kubectl create -f. Now kubectl get PO -o void. Now it is scheduling on the node FE or not, sir? FE means first node or second node? Second node, correct or not? So in this way, you can be able to schedule the particular pod on particular node by using the node affinity concept. Which concept? Node affinity will be able to describe which pod need to be placed on which node. Now is the concept of node affinity clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm is the concept of node affinity clear for all of you or not? So this concept will be important for the people who want to go with experience. They will ask you, how do you restrict a pod for a specific node? What is the concept? Node affinity. Node affinity, how many operators we have? In, not in, exist, less than, greater than, everything. First of all, select a node where you want to place the pod. Give a label and use the operators. That's it. And one more thing, the manifest file is very big, sir. You don't need to remember the manifest file. Directly, if you go to Kubernetes official documentation, let me type like this. KDES node affinity. If I type like this, automatically, for example, if I go node affinity, are you seeing this one? Here, if you go inside, are you seeing the direct, what we call this one? Manifest file. Are you seeing it or not? Copy the manifest file, change the key, change the value. That's it. Apart from that, nothing is new here. Everything will be same. The only thing I am saying from day 1 to day n of Kubernetes is concept is greater than code. Your code doesn't matter. If you ask me, I don't know that code actually. I cannot see it without write. I cannot write without seeing it. Some codes I can write without seeing, but some codes I cannot. But that doesn't mean I don't have knowledge on Kubernetes. Okay. So in real time also what I do is for the concept, I'll understand the requirement. Then I'll go to official documentation. I'll do copy paste only. Is this clear? That's it. So let me give the notes for you here. This node affinity. Your one is server.txt. So in today's session, how many topics we have covered, sir? Two. First one is argocd. Second one is node affinity. Scheduling means node affinity only. So scheduling is the concept in that node affinity, pod affinity will comes under place actually. Okay, that's it. And here I need to cover the couple of small comments also. That is cordon and drain actually. What it is? Cordon and drain. I'll explain what is the meaning of cordon and drain. Don't worry. Give me a second. Cordon. So in interview, they are going to ask you a question called what is cordon and what is drain. Cordon is nothing but it is going to mark the node as unschedulable. For example, let me go and see this one. In the node affinity and pod affinity, what I can do, sir? I can select the particular node to schedule a pod. But I have the function to mark a node as unschedulable. That means if I give a label for this pod, I mean, if this node, my pods will not be schedulable. That I can do with the help of cordon. Cordon means is nothing but marking the node as unschedulable. Uncordon means again making it as schedulable. How do you cordon a particular node? So command is gonna be very, very simple. Let me go and explain you. Kubectl get nodes. So if I go and give the command kubectl cordon, give the ID. Is the node cordon now? Which node I have cordon? The node is having 64. Now what I'll do, I'll try to create 10 replicas. How many replicas? Let's take any manifest file, vm deployment.yml. Okay, I'll take deployment.yml and here what I'll be doing, I'll be going back to my GitHub. I'll take this manifest file. Already we have this manifest file, right? So what I can do? Of course, I can show this from what we call argocd also. You want to see it from argocd or you want to see it from normally? Argocd. Okay. Argocd means let's go and create the application. So click on create application. Tell me the process now. Application name, I'm going to take it as Raham this self. Project default, sync. I'll do automatic. Repository URL you are going to give now. What you going to do? Repository URL. So give it. And after that, path dot slash. And one more thing, guys, in the notes itself, I have mentioned everything. If you go and check out our notes, in the notes, I have given each and everything properly. How to configure the application. Wait, here, where is this one? I have given a step-by-step process. Wait, guys. Okay, fine. Anyways, it is not here. Okay, fine. So here I need to give the GitHub URL and cluster URL. Namespace, I'm going to give it as. So click on create. That's it. So now if I do automatically, I enable auto sync. So what will happen, automatically processing enabled or not, sir? Now what will happen, all the nodes are going to be scheduling on only one node. Why? Because second node I have make it as cordon. Cordon means unschedulable. In that node, the pods will not schedule. Let me show it in the details. Details not. If I go to the last one here, this is the pod. Currently the pod is on which state here? Creating status, right? So wait for some time. And again, is the dark theme good to see or like, can we go for a bright theme? Bright theme, right? Even I like it. So appearance, if I disable this one, come back. Is the pods deployed now? How many pods are there? Click on the 15 pods. So these are the pods actually. You can go and check out this one. Okay. But if I want the complete information, what I can do, click on the last section. In the last section, are you seeing the pods or not, sir? So I want to see in which node the pods are running. So what I can do is I can go back to the slide number 2 here. Slide number 2 is monitoring. Basically, how many nodes I have? 2 nodes. But why it is showing only one node? Because I have make it as cordon. So if you go to unschedulable, in the unschedulable, are you seeing the node number 2 here? Wait. If I go and click on node. So if I go and see, are you seeing all the pods are running on only one node or not, sir? In which node it is running? The node which is having ID FE. Why? Because the node which is having other thing, the node which is having 6.4 and FE, these are the two nodes. 6.4, I have make it as cordon. So nodes will not be, pods will not be placing on this node anymore. Again, if I want to get them back, I need to use uncordon. If I trip uncordon, so now again it is uncordon, correct or not, sir? Now again, if I go and check out this one, if I click on refresh, pods will not come. Why? Because already these pods are placed, correct or not, sir? So, but if you try to place a new pod, that new pod will come here. Let me go. Give me a second, guys. GitHub, DevOps Veraham, argocd. If I go back in the deployment section, how many I am giving now? 20 I am giving now. How many? So the moment if I do, automatically now go and check whether the new pods are coming to my new node or not. So again, is it a manual syncing or automatic syncing? Click on refresh. Are you seeing new pods are coming to new node? So in real time, at what scenario you are going to use it? Let me explain very clearly. Sometimes we do apply patching for the nodes, correct or not, sir? While applying patching for the nodes, if I have two worker nodes, how many worker nodes? For these two worker nodes, I don't apply patching at same time. First of all, I apply patch for the worker node number 1. While I am uploading patch from worker node number 1, worker node 2 need to give application to the user, correct or not? In that case, I'm going to make it as cordon. That means no pods are going to schedule here. I'll update patch and I'll bring it to online. When I bring it to online, now again, I'm going to make it as uncordon. Now pods will be coming to both nodes. So same again. Now again, if I want to apply patch for this one, again, I'm going to make it down cordon. Again, I apply patch. Again, I'm going to make it as uncordon. This is the way. how you are going to use it on real time. While applying patches, we apply these kind of scenarios. But again, there is one more issue here, sir. Here, if you use cordon, new pods are not going to schedule. But what about the old pods? In both node number 1, node number 2, I'm having the pods. If you want to apply patch for node number 2, already node number 2 have the pods or not, sir? Now, how you are going to move these pods to node number 1? By using the draining. Which one? If we use the concept called drain, automatically the pods from one node is going to go for the second node. That is what explained here. Let me come to end. Drain. Ready to have it. So if I go for drain here, drain delete all the pods, expect the mirror pods. That means already if you are having any pods, okay, that you want to move from one node to another node. In that case, what you are going to use? Drain. So I use the command called kubectl. Instead of cordon or uncordon, I'm going to use drain here. Here you need to use ignore daemon sets. Why? Because while draining, you cannot remove the daemon sets. I need to use -f and ignore daemon set. Okay. So now if I try to go and switch, kubectl get PO -o wide. Currently, if you go and see, my pods are running on both worker node 1 and worker node 2. Then how I can use the drain command properly? How to drain it? Here you can go see like I'm having both here. I'm having both, but how I want to make it as drain actually? How do I do it? Just to go to the official documentation and type the drain, automatically you'll be getting the input. So Kubernetes draining. If you go and see, first of all, it is one. Before you begin this task, assume you are not meeting the following. Sorry, you have met the following prerequisite. First of all, you do not require your application to be highly available. Second one, you have read about the pod disruption budget concept and have configured the pod disruption budget. So first of all, if you want to drain this one, the command will be this one: kubectl drain as well as ignore daemon set, and you need to give the node name. Okay. So this is the way how exactly you are going to drain it. So in interview, they will ask you what is the difference between cordon versus drain. Cordon is nothing but making the pod as unschedulable in a worker node. And again, if you want to schedule it, you can use uncordon. But draining is nothing but deleting all the pods. Whatever the pods you are having in the node, it will delete all the pods by default. That is called as draining actually. And again, if you have replica sets, what will happen? That will be recreating. So you need to make sure that one, okay? And remember, while you are draining, please make sure that you are not deleting the daemon sets. Why? Because I already said daemon sets will not be deleted at any case in the real time. Why? Because daemon sets will be having the logging and monitoring agents, metric server agent, and lot of agent. So make sure you are not deleting the daemon sets itself. So is the concept of for draining as well as cordon clear for all of you know? Yes. That's it. And one more thing, if you want me to show draining, so this is the command actually. Let me write it here. Kubectl drain. And you need to give the node ID. Basically, I have given the wrong node ID. Let me give one node ID. So if I go back here, I'm gonna delete the all pods from the node which is having FE. The node which is having FE, not like I'll go for 6.4. The node which is having 6.4, I'm gonna delete all the pods from this particular node itself. Okay. But here, the worst part is you need to understand one thing. Here, you are having the data. So when you are having the data, it cannot be deleted. We need to use -delete mtdr data to override. Why? Because we are using argocd here. So there we are having data. So write this command here. That's it. If you go and see the pods removing or not, sir. The reason why this is command, basically if you don't use argocd, this delete empty dir will not come, but here I'm using argocd, so it will come actually. Now in the background also, if I go and check here, if I click on refresh, pods will go from the node. If you go and see, pods are going from node away or not, sir? How it is going away? Why? Because I am using the draining concept here. Which concept? So now if I use kubectl, it will get po hyphen io wide. You can go and see new pods are creating. Why new pods are creating? We have replica set. If you don't have replica set, that pods will go away or not, sir? That is the thing. Cordon, making the node as unschedulable. Drain, deleting all the pods in the node itself. That's it. And if I want to place a particular pod on the particular node, which concept I need to use? Node affinity. Which one? Node affinity. So don't confuse here. If you practice, then these comments are going to be very, very easy for you. Okay. So this is the concept of today's session. In today's session, we have seen argocd, node affinity, and what is coordinate draining. That's it. So now before I go for doubts and queries, first of all, like how's the concept for today's session, guys? Is the concept clear for all of you? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm me how's the class for all of you today? Is it clear for all of you? The project, scheduling and everything clear for all of you? I need to get response from all of you online. Okay, that's it. So now in today's session, if you are having any doubts or any queries online, you can raise your hand. I can give unmute option for you. And after you can go ahead. Definitely, Rajesh, you can migrate the pod from one node to another node also. It is possible. You can do it. Okay. So now coming to the queries here, Swati, sir, due to office hours, I missed the class and attended the class work parallel in office. Basically, Swati, new batch is starting. So like it's starting from like already started actually, but tomorrow I'm gonna start Git. But attend from the topics which you have missed Swati. Like Swati. Why? Because I'm starting Git. You already know Git, Maven, Jenkins, everything you know. Instead of attending from the scratch, so attend the classes what you have missed. It will be advantage for you actually. Okay. So coming to next, Vikram. Sir, in an interview, if they ask to explain about your project stages and end, please provide a step-by-step explanation. Vikram, of course, why not? Basically, I have the separate session for all of you. How to explain the project. Let me show this one. There is a document for me. Experience deployment. So in this document, you don't believe actually, I'm gonna write every step possible for you, like how to explain the project from scratch to end. I'm gonna teach you what is deployment, what are the types of deployment, what are the deployment strategies you are going to follow, as well as in interview, if they ask you a project, how to explain the project. For example, if it is monolithic project, how to explain, or if it is microservice project, how to explain. Everything already I have given list here, and I am going to give the daily works of a DevOps engineer. Everything I have given in the document. So this is the last session for all of you. Okay. Why? Because in the last class, I'm going to tell you what are the end-to-end activities and what are the tools you need to majorly focus on, and how to explain a project in the real time. If you listen to that single class and if you prepare each and everything what I said in that class, experienced people can able to crack the any interview easily. So Vikram, you need to wait for some other days to explain this one. Okay. I hope it is clear, Vikram. Yeah. For a topic, which topic? If you click on drop down, automatically will come. In the cluster URL, if you place your cursor, automatically that will come actually. Okay. Yep. Fine. So any other queries from online? If you are having, please raise your hand. I'm gonna give unmute option for you. And already upload the document for your Google Classroom. Okay. You can go ahead and you can practice this one. Guys, I'm telling you, fresher practice everything whatever is said in the class. Blind shot, you will get a job actually. And one more thing, basically we got a requirement actually. The package is 3 LPA. So I think today is the last day for registration. If you want to give a try, I'll share the link for you in the Google Classroom. Go and have a look on it. Okay. And again, it is for completed people only. But if you want to try, you can go and try. But still, our course is not done yet. I'm just sharing you to get some interview experience for all of you. Okay. So I'll share the link for you right away. You can go and you can use it. Wait. But here it is not on DevOps actually. It is on the Linux and Windows. I saw, sorry, I thought it's DevOps actually, but okay, fine. Okay then, so are we good for today? Okay then, so let me meet on tomorrow's session with some new topic. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you everyone. Thank you online.